for us on the other side of the world, it was quite astounding and distressing and devastating as we saw the ruins that were over there, also the way it had happened. And then, of course, we see our brothers and sisters in Beirut being rushed to hospital. One of those people was Krikor Sabounjian, who is our special guest this morning on the line from Beirut in Lebanon. Good morning, Krikor.
Good morning, guys.
Thank you very much. Let me just paint the picture for our people listening in this morning on our radio show. Krikor is in his early 30s, Lebanese man, works in import-export as a trader, and was right there. We'll also put up a photo you'll see of Krikor running through the streets with a blood-stained shirt, pulling along an office chair with his cousin with looks like major facial injuries and other friends trying to get her to hospital. Krikor, can you take us back to that moment and explain what was going on?
Yes, I was 5 kilometers away from the explosion when it happened. And my cousin, she was just 1.5 kilometers away in a coffee shop working. So the second I heard the explosion, after just a couple of minutes, my phone rang and it was her calling me. Of course, there wasn't a stranger on the phone just telling me that your cousin, she's badly injured and she needs help. So I ran over there. It took me like just 40 minutes to get there. Usually it takes only 5 minutes because it was chaos everywhere. So, and when we got to the hospital, most of the hospitals surrounding the capital were totally destroyed. So we had to transport her to another hospital outside the capital. And the scenes were, I can't even describe. It was so bad. Like there were dead bodies everywhere on the highway.
Krikor, we've got a really proud and strong Lebanese community here in Australia, and we thinking of you. Our hearts go out to all our Lebanese friends. So this morning, you were 5 kilometres away from the blast zone. Can you tell me what that felt like? Because the images have been breathtaking. Were you stunned by the noise and the reverberation?
Actually, I was just leaving my office. I was in my car and just going out of the exit to the highway when the explosion happened. But being in the car, I didn't felt it because I was in a moving object, but all of the people that were indoors, they got hurt really bad because the explosion, the shock wave destroyed everything inside the buildings.
And Krikor, can I ask you, just with your cousin, you had to drag her in an office chair because it obviously had the wheels underneath it. That was the only form of transport. How far did you have to go, and what was the scene like at the hospital when you arrived?
The scene at the hospital was in, like, we only see this in movies. Like, yeah. The scene, there were like injured people everywhere. The rooms were packed. The emergency was packed. The doctors were taking care of people like outside the hospital on the streets, just so they can help them in any way possible.
And Krikor, can I ask you, a couple of days later now, thankfully your cousin is in pretty good shape, which is great news for you and your family. There have been so many deaths and so many injuries. What's the psyche of Beirut, Lebanon? I mean, it is a city that was known as the Paris of the Middle East at one stage, a beautiful city. It has been war-torn over the years, as we know. But can you tell us, how's everybody thinking there now? I know Emmanuel Macron, the French president, visited today and has promised to support the people of Lebanon and Beirut. But what is the thinking about people as you walk through and you see this devastation? And I understand there is a fair bit of anger towards officials and some corruption over there as well.
All we need is justice, because I've been born in Beirut in 1987, and it's been more than 30 years now. And all we can hear since our parents, they kept us telling that this country will never get non-corrupted government to rule over. So all we need is justice. All we need is to end corruption. All we need is like to let us alone to live our lives, because this is too much. Like, the people here, they can't take it any longer. For the last 8 months, we were dramatically suffering from a huge economic crisis, and with the COVID pandemic, it was really disaster in Lebanon. And now with this bombing, it's the end. Like, all the hopes of the people are gone. They just want justice and let us live alone.
Krikor, they're beautiful words, and we can feel your pain in that situation. We understand 2.5 tons, 2.7 tons of ammonium nitrate was stored, and that's what's caused this nuclear-like explosion. Have you got any answers as to how that happened, why it was there? Is there any information on the ground in Lebanon?
We don't have any, as people of Lebanon, anyway, they don't tell us anything, but most of us believe that it was a bombing because the huge shockwave was created scientifically. They are saying it's proven that this chemical product won't explode by itself. It needs some kind of fuse or a bomb to make this shockwave. So I don't know what to say. I don't have any like valid proof, but it's a disaster. It's a disaster.
It is a disaster, and as of this morning, Das, it has killed over 137 people and injured about 5,000 others. Beirut's governor, Marwan Aboud, estimates up to $15 billion worth of damage has been done to the city, that 300,000 homes have been damaged and some have been left uninhabitable. So it is the ripple effect of this explosion. We saw it in real time as it rippled right across the city, but now it starts to manifest itself into the community. Krikor, thank you so much for taking your time this morning to be with us. Our hearts break for you. Our solidarity and support is with you. I'm not sure what we will be able to do as a country, but Australia, as my colleague Luke Darcy just mentioned, has a very strong and vibrant Lebanese community. So hopefully in due course, we will be able to come out of our COVID situation and lend our support to the people of Beirut and Lebanon, and to you as well, Krikor.
I would suggest, so everyone who's going to help the people directly, help the population. Don't help the government. The government will never help us if you donate the money directly to them. They will never do that. It's the same ruling party since 50 years. They are all agreed for this corruption. They are all responsible for this disaster. None of them is gonna go away and help the people anymore. This is it. This is just the way it is.
Krikor, thank you. On that note, Krikor Sabounjian joining us from Beirut, and the image of you saving your cousin is one that is just so graphic and courageous. We appreciate your time this morning, and maybe we can touch base again and check in on our friends in Beirut. Thanks, Krikor.
Stay well.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Krikor, and Das, Krikor's words, slightly more hidden in the diplomacy of politics, were pretty much articulated by Emmanuel Macron, the French president, visiting today. The people of Beirut were booing the officials, not necessarily Macron, but the officials, in very much the same light that Krikor explained to us there. So there is a lot more to unfold in this story, straight up, not just the straight up bombing of the area and the devastation that is there, but everything else that has been building for over 30 years. That was Krikor Sabounjian, our friend in Beirut, and we'll stay in contact with you, Krikor, and thank you very much for your time this morning on Triple M's Hot Breakfast.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.